morning, everybody. It is a beautiful Saturday morning. We left Grand Design yesterday. We had absolutely amazing service, above and beyond our expectations, and we left there, hit a Harvest Host about an hour and a half down the road, and we are making our way towards North Carolina, Asheville area. We have a bit of a family emergency happening on the West Coast, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to head over to North Carolina and get kind of set up for the month, and we'll hopefully be able to take care of some things from there.
I hear the commotion, and that's okay, 'cause we're in motion. I can feel the sway. There's nothing to fear, my friend, oh no. It's the natural rattle. And when the ground is shaking and the thunder roars, I wouldn't worry, it's just a storm. I just let my body pause to the natural rattle. So unwind the dawn, unravel. We can't help but be a little fragile through the clatters inside and crackles. All the sounds of the natural rattle vibrating us all. The natural rattle vibrating us all. I hear the rocket all day and night. The world is noisy, and that's alright. Every sound is just a piece of the natural rattle. So unwind and don't unravel. We can't help but be a little fragile through the clatters inside and crackles. Are the sounds of the natural rattle vibrating us all. The natural rattle vibrating us all.
So does it just do major chords, not flats and sharps?
So you can get your D major scale out of this top string and the bottom one. You can get your A major scale from the middle string and get your B minor. And then you can also, if you capo these, you can start to get your different modes. So right now, your major scale is called your Ionian mode. You can pop it into your Dorian mode, which is very close to your minor scale.
Oh, so it can go, it can adjust.
You just capo it.
How does that work that it does that?
It's because the instrument's diatonic. So where most instruments are chromatic, which means you're getting all of your sharps and flats, this one is already tuned to that scale. So when you do that, you're really knocking the scale up. Yeah.
Cool.
You're singing out the other frets, basically.
That is so cool.
Do they all sound the same, or are they built to sound different?
You're going to get different sounds depending on the model. This is our artist, so it's got our fullest sound, largest body. But then we also have instruments that emulate a mandolin and a banjo.
Oh, cool.
That's really cool. So each wood you're getting a different sound.
That is.
Those things are pretty cool. After we left the instrument shop, we ended up going and getting some pizza at mellow mushroom, and it was a good atmosphere, good family friendly, place, and we enjoyed the art and stuff on the walls. From there, we ended up just walking around downtown and just enjoying the afternoon. The downtown, the architecture, we haven't been inside a city in over a year, so it was definitely a shock for us, but Asheville is just such an awesome place to go explore. So if you get a chance, go check out the downtown area. I'm sure we missed a lot and we'll have to come back in the future.
While we were there in Asheville, we had the opportunity to go and visit the Biltmore Estate, which was just a great time. We got to do it with family. Some of the things that we learned about the Biltmore Estate is that it is considered the largest privately owned home in the entire country of the United States. So that was really neat to be able to go explore. It was created between 1889 and 1895. All of the furniture and everything in the home is original, so that's pretty awesome that they've been able to maintain it through the years. It's still owned by the descendants of the Vanderbilts. So just the history of the home was very cool to learn about. While we were there, we also got to have lunch at the bistro on the grounds, which was so much fun. The food was great, service was great, and there was a cute little story because the kids had their own table, and Brantley, after sitting there a few minutes, he started to think to himself, and he came over and tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "Mom, I'm sitting over here with the other kids, and I forgot to bring my money. Am I gonna have to pay?" And it was just the cutest thing because he thought, sitting at his own table, he was gonna have to take care of the bill. So it was just very cute. We assured him that we had it handled, but that was a great lunch that we got to have with the family. And from there, we ended up, again, we went and toured the home. The home was very cool, lots of history to it. We absolutely recommend if you're in the area to go and check that out. On the grounds are open to the public, and they are absolutely stunning. There's a lot of outdoor activities. There's 20 plus miles of hiking and biking trails. There's rafting, horseback rides, there's gardens and wineries, and it's actually considered the most visited winery in the country, so that's pretty neat. And then the gardens themselves are a destination to see. It's considered one of the top 10 botanical gardens of the world, and the architect behind that, his name was Frederick Law Olmsted, and he's considered the father of landscape architecture. And he's also the same guy who he designed Central Park in New York City, so it's kind of some neat history about that. And yeah, we had a great time that day. To cap the day off, we ended up going down to Antler Village, which is also on the property. We got to visit the farmyard, learn about that. There's some really cool history behind that. Inside the barn, the stables, all the brickwork in there is all original, and it's just beautiful. They do a great job talking about the history of the farm, why it was created, and why they continue to have the live animals there. So again, it's just a beautiful place to go. Walk around, check out the shops and the creameries, and there was live music out there, and we just had a wonderful time.
So Asheville, North Carolina was not on our list for stops during this time of year.
Yeah.
It kind of happened because of a family emergency. As we're making our way east, we were supposed to hit Grand Design and then roll up to Maine and then work our way down to the Keys.
Mm-hmm.
That was our plan. And
we had reservations, everything was booked, everything was set, and
everything was paid for. And unfortunately, if you've been following, you know that we had an axle issue. We had some warranty work to get done. We were dealing with weather, and as we were going through Iowa, we found out that I got a call saying that my mom had cancer and it was terminal. So we had that on top of everything, and we were just trying to take one thing at a time, stay positive.
Yeah. Figure out a plan.
Yeah. So after we got done with Grand Design, it was we didn't have enough time to go to the West Coast, nor at least we didn't think we had enough time. That, and then it was so hard because campgrounds are full everywhere, and I stayed up for days just route planning and trying to figure it out. And so we figured out the better option for us during that time was to go to Asheville, North Carolina, where I have a stepsister who I grew up with since I was 3. We've stayed in contact throughout the years. We're best friends. And so we decided to go there because that's where she's from. And it was only a 12-hour drive away from us.
Yep.
So after that Harvest Toast, we went straight there. I hopped on an airplane and went back and spent a week with my mom. It was a great week. We got to say our goodbyes and stuff. And we were hoping to make it back after that, but just in case, I wanted to go at least see her. Showed up, took her, to some doctor's appointments, and just spent some quality time with her, and said our goodbyes. And I went back to North Carolina and got back to the trailer, and somebody finished school finally.
Yes, that was another thing that was
Which-
kind of weighing on us a little bit. Was I was up against a deadline trying to get school done too in the midst of all of that. So
If you're new to the channel, Jody's been, since we've been on the road, she's been finishing her bachelor's degree. She's going to school to be a teacher, and so to be dealing with all that, plus she's been a trooper. I mean, our whole time since we've been on the road, that we're constantly having to pivot because of things, and so so we got to go back, and we're gonna still celebrate that at some point, but we got to spend some time with my sister and her family. They're very welcoming to us. They took us to downtown, they took us to the Biltmore, they took us just around, and we also got to spend some time doing some family barbecues and swimming, and
4th of July.
and so I guess it was just meant to be for that time. But we'll definitely go back to Asheville again. I know there's so much more to do there. But yeah, so we left Asheville, and about 2 weeks later we got a call saying that my mom passed. So I had to fly back again, and now we're in Pennsylvania. You'll see that in the next episode. We're on the road again, just trying to pick ourselves back up, figure things out,
Make a new plan.
Yeah, and so we got back into Thousand Trails, and we are just doing a little bit longer stays right now, and we're gonna have to beeline somewhere and try to find 2 parks close to each other and just figure life back out, because we want to be able to go to Alaska next summer, and so that's the goal. So
just the unexpected finances between flights and traveling and funerals and all of those things. It's just part of life, and again, it was unexpected. So
one of the cool things, though, and I'm just gonna share this, is my mom only got to see us maybe once or twice a year before, when we had our house for the holidays and stuff, because we live 500 miles away. And she made a comment earlier this year how she got to follow our journey on here, and she felt like she was a part of our journey and stuff, and
like she got to see us more often.
So I often see people who comment and say, like, family members are giving them crap because they're on the road, or they're jumping into this lifestyle or whatever. For us, we had that with my mom. She was our second stop in Pismo. If you've been following us from the beginning, we stopped in Pismo. We were just getting started with all this, and we still are just getting started with all this, but she didn't like this lifestyle, but we were able to show her and bring her along with us. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're jumping into this and you're documenting, whether it be Instagram or YouTube or whatever, do it. You're going to get some pushback, but those who really believe in you will come around in time. And so yeah, I mean, it's a lot of life happening, but it's time for us to figure out the path forward, I guess. And we're going to grieve for a little bit and all that, for a lot of bit, and but it's just,
we're going to keep moving forward, and we're going to come up with a new plan, and we're going to continue to film and document, and we're going to continue to live our life, and kind of see where it takes us. We have some goals that we want to try and achieve next year, but we're going to start documenting and planning for that experience next year.
Yeah, and we're also going to be doing things a lot different, I think, going forward. We're going to be kind of opening up a little bit more and just really sharing our journey a lot. The real, because there's been a lot of real that we've been kind of holding back. It's
more than just us out here on a camping trip or anything like that. It's more than that. We still have day-to-day life that we live. We have the pressure, the finances, we have the kids, we have our schedules, we have work, all the normal things that you would have in a house. We're just in a smaller footprint and mobile.
And that was one of the cool things about going to Asheville, because my sister got to see our actual lives. She actually got to see, that we're not just you know, like Jody said, not just camping, we're actually living and we're working and we have school and we have homeschool and we have all this stuff that's going on, you know, like everybody else does. You know, we have to find laundromats, grocery stores, you know, fuel stations out, you know, it's there's a lot of stuff like that behind the scenes, and we're going to start sharing a lot more of that with you. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to be taking you next week to with us to Pennsylvania, and we'll see you down the road.
Oh, really?
But she was doing admissions
down here.
for a while, and she would say that these people would come in to like enter the program.
Let's go. Hey guys, let's do the alphabet. Ready?
Okay. A, B,
C, and I want to do this one. I want to do road block.